Well, good evening. Welcome to the Orangeburg Board of Commissioners special call meeting May 17th. At this time, we would like to have the roll call by City Clerk Beth Seathorn.
Commissioner Jay Vallata.
Here.
Commissioner Larry Conder.
Here.
Mayor Tom Watson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bob Glenn.
Here.
Commissioner Pam Smithwright.
Here.
Thank you. This time, I'll ask Mayor Pro Tem Bob Glenn for the invocation and the pledge. Please stand.
Please bow with me and engage in prayer or silent meditation, whichever is your practice. Dear Heavenly Father, we come together tonight in the citadel of the people, City Commission chambers, in which we hope to do the business of the people. But Lord, we all want to thank you for so many blessings, the great weather you provided this weekend during the barbecue festival, the safe streets. But more importantly, we want to thank all of our city employees for the great job they do, and in particular, our first responders, our police, our fire, our dispatchers. We want to thank our sanitation crews and our Parks and Recreation Department and all of our staff who work so hard to make Owensboro the great city to live in that it is. Lord, we thank you for economic development and the benefits of living in a clean and safe community. And Lord, tonight as we commemorate and inaugurate 6 new firefighters into the Brotherhood of Saving Lives, we ask blessings upon them in particular. And finally, we ask blessings on the Nicky Hayden family in his time of crisis. May he be recovered to health. And in Jesus' name, we thank you for all the blessings you provide.
Amen.
And now the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bob. At this time, we're going to have a swearing-in ceremony for 6 new firefighters. Fun stuff. Pretty tough. How you doing? Tom Watson. DJ. Yeah, that's a Kegel, ain't it? I can tell. Tyler Grant. Aaron James. John Brown. Okay, we got a little swear. Have y'all been practicing your swearing in? You have? Who? Oh, we got a leader, Chief. Right there, automatic. Oh, Brown knows. I don't know which one. Okay, here we go. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky so long as I continue a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of firefighter according to law. Did I miss something?
Yeah, they didn't have their hands up.
Do we have to start all over?
Let's
Chief?
do it again.
Good. Be good.
Okay, can we finish now? All right, hands up, boys. Stick up. All right. Let's see. And I do solemnly swear. See, that's when we're supposed to. That since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this Commonwealth, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state, nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending, any person thus offending, so help me God. I guess you're firefighters now. I don't know.
This is tradition. We have a badge pinning ceremony, so they get to have a family member actually pin their badge on them. So this is really important to them, but it's more important to the families. Okay, so let us know when you get finished. We're all night, looks like me. Where's my lady? You have enough? You good? All right, we're good.
Bobby, congratulations.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Uncle Bruce will be the only name I remember.
Hey, Steve. Yes, sir. Certainly. And that one there, they can.
He's very polite.
Okay, that was fun. And I apologize if they didn't give me enough to read, and I just read what was on front of me. I guess I should ask them next time to raise their right hand, shouldn't I, before we get started. Okay, we'll go to item number 5 on the agenda, ordinance second reading. Please, Mr. Ray.
Thank you, Mayor. First is Ordinance 8-2017 entitled, An Ordinance Closing the 2 remaining sections of the alley, 10 feet in width, lying between East Parish Avenue to the north and 14th Street to the south, the north section being at the East Parish Avenue boundary and extending south a distance of 86.95 feet, and the south section beginning at the East 14th Street boundary and extending north a distance of 180.9 feet. And further providing for the dedication of a public utility easement in the north section at the request of the Owensboro Medical Plaza LLC. Publicly read for approval on second reading May 17th, 2017.
Mr. Parrish?
Mayor, this is across the street from the old hospital campus, Owensboro Medical Plaza. It is the location of the old Heart and Vascular Lab. They have requested closure of the alley on the south side of their building. That alley adjoins one property owner, 2 lots on the south side of the building, and they have both said they consent to that movement. Recommend that you approve this.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve. So moved.
Second.
Any comment from the commission? Comment from the public? Hearing none, we'll have roll call vote. Ms. Cecil?
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Villada,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder.
Yes.
Carries. Okay. 5B, Mr. Ray.
Next is ordinance 9-2017. It's an ordinance adopting and approving the annual budget of the City of Owensboro, Kentucky for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2017 and ending June 30th, 2018, and appropriating the revenues to the various departments of the city as set forth herein. Publicly read for approval on second reading May 17th, 2017.
Parrish?
Mayor, there have been no changes to the budget since the first reading. It's a $115,371,000 budget, and the staff recommends approval.
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Any comment from the commission? Any comment from the public?
Wade Jenkins, 3415 Marycrest Drive. Good evening. My name is Wade Jenkins, and I'm the 2017 Board Chair of the Greater Owensboro Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for allowing me over the last few months to share with you the Chamber's concerns regarding the city's budget. In reflecting upon Monday night's meeting, we are still shocked and taken aback by many of the things that were said and the tactics that were employed. We are not alone in this thought process. I, along with others, received multiple texts and phone calls and emails expressing displeasure of the meeting, tenor, and tactics. These communications were not only from chamber members, but from everyday citizens. The most difficult of these were the 9/11 calls that were played while human beings were experiencing incredible emotional pain. I do not then and do not now understand why this happened. With that said, we as a chamber want to emphasize 3 things. We oppose taxes that impact working people and small businesses. We want to continue to raise the bar in transparency as it relates to the budget. It was said this was the most transparent budget that has ever been reviewed in many years, and we are, as a chamber, are confident that we help raise the bar. And we want to reiterate that none of our proposed cuts were to be incurred by public safety employees. In closing, as a chamber, we will continue to serve our members and to be part of the process. I just want to read one more thing. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or whether the doer of deeds could have actually done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and at worst he fails. At least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never know victory nor defeat. Thank you.
Good evening. Dave Roberts, 414 Griffith Avenue. I'm also here on behalf of UniFirst Corporation. I'm the general manager. I'm here this evening on behalf of our nearly 450 team partners at UniFirst Corporation, each of which will be impacted by the proposed tax increase. Our organization will also bear the burden of higher tax rates once the proposed increases are put into place. I want to emphasize a few points for our electorate to consider. You're once again placing the increase on the backs of hardworking men and women of this community. At UniFirst, we are fortunate to have a high concentration of women working for us. A large number of these women are the sole income providers for their households. Simply put, these tax increases will only make the task of managing and providing for their household more challenging. Number two, every tax dollar that you take from our company is a dollar we cannot put back in the hands of our stakeholders. These are dollars that could be distributed in the form of wage growth, profit sharing, job creation, reinvestment, and philanthropy. Our pie does not get bigger. Our city government simply gets a larger portion of it. Number three, there was some discussion by city staff on Monday night that it is unlikely that companies would relocate to Utica or Sargo or Stanley. I'm not sure of the accuracy or validity of these comments, but I do actively participate in site selection for our organization. Not only do we look at tax rates when deciding where to locate, we also look at tax history. Unfortunately, this increase will now be a part of our tax history. Additionally, in today's global economy, it's easier than ever to operate just about anywhere, not just within the confines of Davis County. In summary, I want to make it clear to this group of city leaders that jobs and job creation are the lifeblood of any community. Owensboro already faces an uphill battle when it comes to economic growth. I understand that these are tough times for our city and tough decisions must be made. However, as a business leader, I feel it is important to communicate the far-reaching and long-range impacts of decisions such as these. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Andy Gamblin, and of course I was here Monday night. And again, I'm going to illustrate. We need to stop put a freeze on spending, okay? And then, like the gentleman from UniFirst, we need to cut taxes, 3%. If y'all would do that, it will help businesses, it will help small businesses, it will help everyone. Cut taxes 3%. It will do the job, people. I'm telling you. I want to illustrate what he just said. I know this for a fact, okay? Hopkins County, they raised their insurance tax. You know what happened? In Nortonville, Kentucky, okay? There was a business, had a trucking company. You know what they did? They moved their business to Christian County because of the insurance tax is low. Just recently, look at Henderson. They cut their taxes to help the people, to help the working people. And I know we got a budget, and I mean the riverfront looks nice, but y'all, they went too fast on it. They should have took their time on it, and they didn't. And now we're in trouble, and we're in big trouble. And I know y'all know that. Like I said, the solution is freeze the spending, cut taxes 3%, and rein in OMU too. They need to cut their taxes too to help people. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call vote. Let's see.
Mayor Pro Tem Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Vallada,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson.
Yes. Next item, Mr. Ray.
Thank you, Mayor. The next is 10-2017, an ordinance amending Chapter 16, Article 1, Section 16-1, the insurance license fee, and further amending Chapter 16, Article 2, Section 16-22, 16-23, 16-24, 16-25, 16-26, and 16-35, occupational license fee of the Owensboro Municipal Code to raise the rate of the insurance license fee effective July 1st, 2018, and raising occupational fees and net profit fees of the City of Owensboro effective July 1st, 2017. Publicly read for approval on second reading May 17th, 2017.
Thank you. I entertain a motion to approve. Or motion, please.
Motion.
Second. Any comment from the public? Any comment from the commission?
I've got one comment.
Commissioner Glenn.
Since we're dealing with the insurance premium license fee, I do want to make one comment. I'm not a fan of this as a form of taxation. I think it hits retirees pretty hard. It hits law-abiding people that insure their businesses, and it's multiple. If you have more than one policy, you get tax multiple. But on the other hand, the only way we were able to get the overall rate down on occupation and net profit was to allow us to happen. There is still an option 9 months from now if revenue projections are incorrect and we actually are collecting more than we expect. There's a possibility we can reject this, I am told by our city staff. And I will be happy to check those numbers and make sure we have a chance to do that. But I make no promises. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Smith-Wright.
Mayor, I too also disagree with the insurance tax. I've talked to a lot of my constituents, and not only them, but myself. It's something about it that it's not fair to me. But if we can relieve this tax before March, then I'm for that. And I will bring it up that we relieve this tax, try to relieve this tax.
Yeah, we talked about rolling it back as soon as possible. Anybody else? Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the part that is hard. The budget and accepting that, you get to that point. But taxing our citizens in whatever form you wish to call it is difficult to do. I know that most of the time on City Manager Bill Parrish's board, I was on the bottom of cutting this rate or doing that. And one time I came into his office, he had stacks of papers sitting on the back of it, over 15 of them. And I asked him what they were for, and he said they were projects for the commission that he was doing as requests. And he goes, oh, and by the way, over half of them are yours. So staff really did look hard with a lot of requests of what needed to be done and how it was best to be done. Please recognizing that this budget that was just accepted and the revenue streams that we're talking about is a dramatic shift from what has occurred over the last 8 years of priorities of services. Was there more that could have been done? Yes, and will be worked on. I had a goal in the beginning to have the occupational tax trying to be around the 1.69, 1.7. Didn't quite get there, but it was much better than what had been presented before. So I leave that with a thank you to staff and thank you to all the employees of the city of Owensboro. It has been an arduous thing to do, but I think we will be fine and move forward. Remember this, we all own this now. This commission owns this budget. This is ours. No backward looking, no looking in the rearview mirror. This is ours. And we are to be held responsible to make sure that our pocketbook is taken care of and our services don't suffer. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Commissioner Vellada.
Just to reiterate a little bit about what Commissioner Condor said, we coming in as new commissioners really had no idea what we were going to be faced with and learned a lot quick. We had some problems, and we're trying to fix those. It's going to take more than a day to fix it. It took more than a day to get here. And obviously, we are still looking for opportunities to roll these taxes back. I'm not a big supporter of raising taxes. I've said it out loud, and I mean it. It hurts everybody in the community. We're looking at 60,000 people that will be affected by everything that is increased, including myself, who's a working citizen of this community. It's hard to do, but we have to stop somewhere and figure out a way to start heading back in the right direction, and that's corrective action. And that's what we're taking right now. Unfortunately, it's an increase we have to live with. So not a big fan of it, but obviously we have to support something and get headed in the right direction. So thank you, staff, and thank you, Chamber, and everyone that gave us input in this situation. Realize it's not an easy task, and we'll keep working on this. We're not done. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Jay. Well, I too have second thoughts about the whole deal. I do want to apologize for Monday, I guess, today, that I did get a lot of calls that said we were over the top with the 911 poor officer that spoke about being on whatever it was, WIC or something. And you know, it's my contention that we got to figure out a way to, you know, work together all the time. And it's not always going to be easy. If you put yourself, any one of you that's here or anybody listening, into this commission, I guess, I called you a couple of days after the election. I said we need a budget transition team. It was not long after that. So we have two people that have been on the budget, on the commission for a while, and they'd really never seen the budget presented the way we did it this time. We had two people that had never been on the commission, and you got someone had been out for 8 years. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses, but you business people, you know that I'm a business person. To walk into a room where there's a $115 million budget, none of us, I think, have any accounting experience. And to try and decipher a municipal budget in what would have been 60 days, basically, or January to April, is difficult. We tried to do it the best we could. We broke it down. We met hours. And those of us that didn't sleep, I'm caught up on all the Turner Classic movies that come on at 2 o'clock in the morning. We don't take this lightly, I promise you. And I think that, you know, having the opportunity to look at this budget the way we've done this time, we're instructing the staff that the 1.39, which is and the 8, whatever it is now, whatever tax base we have now, will go into a fund, go into a line item. And then the extra revenue that's being raised from the increase will go in immediately into a rainy day fund. And we will not be able to get down in that rainy day fund until we either have 5 policemen we got to put on. There'll have to be extenuating circumstances. We're going to try and see how long we can live on 1.39, just so we can, for myself, to validate what we're trying to do. Secondarily, any transfers that happen in the budget. And to me, that's where I always get lost on this budget, as the money goes in this rabbit hole and comes out in a bunch of different places because there's so many different needs. Transfers will be, we're not going to approve them, but we'll need to know about them. And thirdly, we're not going to wait till the end of each quarter and come up with the finances. We're going to have a financial statement or talk about our finances monthly. The second meeting of each month, there'll be a reading from our finance folks about the money we took in and the money we took and the money we spent. So we're going to try and close some of these gaps that for the next group that comes in, it may be a little simpler, maybe not, but it's daunting to try and figure this thing out in 60 days, I promise you. And we've worked extremely hard. We've fussed at each other quite a bit, but we wanted to show you that we were unified and we all hate it, but we feel like it's necessary to do it this time. So this time I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Villada,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glenn.
Yes.
Mr. Ray, I think it's 5D now.
Yes, next is Ordinance 11-2017, an ordinance amending Chapter 25, Article 2, Division 2, Part B, Section 25-56, parking violations specified, to increase the fines for parking violations effective July 1st, 2017. Publicly read for approval on second reading May 17th, 2017.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any comment from the public? Any comment from the commission? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Villada,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 5E, Mr.
Next
Ray.
is Ordinance 12-2017, an ordinance amending Chapter 24, Article 3, Division 2, permits, Section 24-61 and 24-63 to include clarification language related to street cuts and to provide for a $50 fee for a permit to construct, reconstruct, alter, remove, or replace any sidewalk, driveway, street curb, or gutter, or any combination of the aforementioned on any public property or right-of-way. Publicly read for approval on second reading, May 17th, 2017.
I'll entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the commission? Any comment from the public? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Condor,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Villada.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 5F, Mr. Ray.
Ordinance 13-2017, an ordinance amending Chapter 3, Article 2, Section 3-30, expiration date, date fees due and payable, and 3-31, fees generally, to increase various fees for alcoholic beverage licenses. Publicly read for approval on second reading, May 17th, 2017.
Motion to entertain a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Any comment from the commission? Commissioner Smithwright?
Mayor, can we have a clarification what that actually is? Is it from the ABC that's doing this, or this is the cities?
Ms. Galloway, I think, can speak to that.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, and Mayor Smithwright in particular. It is the city's choice. They have the option to be able to raise the ones that are not at state max. And so what this ordinance does is it takes, there's actually 7 licenses right now that are well below the state max, and it raises those 5%. And 5% continuing on for a 5-year period, which is what the state regulation allows.
Okay. Thank you, because people ask me what that's about, so, you know, those folks who are not watching, so thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Villada,
Yes.
Commissioner Condor.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all of our ordinances, I think, according to my book. At this time, item number 6, city manager items. Mr. Parrish.
Mayor, nothing further tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Item number 7, communications from elected officials. Pam Smithwright?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing tonight. I just, again, want to reiterate that we appreciate the staff and for their hard work. Thank you.
Mr. Glenn?
Again, I echo Commissioner Smithwright. I want to thank our staff for all their hard work and many hours put in to produce all the information that we needed to make an informed decision on the budget. I also want to say one other thing. I appreciate my colleagues and all their hard work and insight, including the mayor, trying to make this as transparent a process as he did. So I want to commend Mayor Watson as well, and City Manager Parrish.
Commissioner Villada?
Just to echo what Commissioner Glenn said, great job. Everyone's really worked hard. We've dug into this thing and beat it as much as we could to try to find as much as we could. And again, thank you to the public for their input, their comments, the chamber staff for all your hard work. And again, to echo what Commissioner or Mayor Pro Tem Glenn said earlier about the Hayden family, please keep them in your prayers. They're part of our community, and they really need us to lift them up right now. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Condor?
Thank you, Mayor. This has been one of the hardest things I've really had to do since opening my own business back in the 90s. The most stress, the most work to be able to do it. And I guess it's because it doesn't just affect me. It affects a significant amount of people that come into our community and work and really add to how great this place is. Because it truly is an astonishing community to live in. It really is. Go anywhere else and you will find tax rates, safety, raising a family, having a job. We have a great community. Everyone be proud of it. We need to begin now again to celebrate our community. This Friday is our first Friday after 5. I believe that is is it first night or cities nights is what it is? Right. You know, people show up. All of our employees, everyone, please be there. Let's at least try and make sure we realize to each other that how much of a great neighbors we are, and show it Friday night. Show up and be there, and hopefully it won't rain, and make sure that we can have a good time now and move forward, okay? Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. I got a notification from Sonatrol, and I wanted to share, and the chief got it too, but I'd like to recognize Officer Walling, Officer Hamilton, Aaron Hamilton, and Officer Kevin Langley. They all participated in an alarm problem, one at Davis County Library, and the apprehension of one individual, and one, I think they were all together in this operation, best I can, yes, they were all together in the operation. So I have certificates here from Sonatrol. They're very grateful for your good work, so I'll pass these on to you at the end of the night, please. Also, we had a really neat item yesterday, man, these days. Yesterday at Smothers Park, one of our employees helped me. Jennifer Hodges, thank you. She came up with a really cool idea and partnered with Dr. Bray, who is a dermatologist, to set up sunscreen stations at our pools. I think that's outstanding because of all the issues that go on with melanoma and skin cancer. So I want to thank Ms. Hodges and Dr. Bray for it's a good deal. Second, Owensboro has been honored as a 2017 Playful City USA Community for the second year in a row. For some reason, I don't feel too dead blame playful tonight, but Playful City USA honors cities and towns across the country for putting the needs of families first so kids can learn, grow, and develop important skills. And I think Amanda Rogers is going to receive this honor. If I had one to give you, I'd do it. All I got is a piece of paper. But congratulations, Amanda. Good job. Not long ago, I can't keep track of the time, but a group of us went to Washington, D.C. to try and speak on several issues for the community. Senator Bowen, Matt Caslin, Judge Mattingly, myself, Candace Brake, David Roberts, who was here, Wade Jenkins, who was here, Adam Hancock, who was here tonight, Jessica. There's 12 of us, and we had the opportunity to have a White House briefing, and we met with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce on EPA issues, on burning coal and things that affect Kentucky, and especially Owensboro. We were really fortunate. Secretary Elaine Chao invited us into the Department of Transportation, and as most of you know, we've been trying to move forward on the road from Huntingburg to the Maceo Bridge. I guess it's Huntingburg. And we delivered a presentation to the Department of Transportation, and Secretary brought a staffer out who knew what she was doing, and she looked at me, and I looked at the plan. She says, "I see no federal barriers here. Have you requested the funds?" And it was said, "It's in Indiana." So she goes, "Well, have they requested the funds?" And someone said they were fixing to request the funds. So we got a little movement on that, which I believe is one of the critical things for our economic development. As the road from Interstate 64, and you get off at Indianapolis, and it forks at Indianapolis, and you got road to Louisville and going towards Evansville. Owensboro's kind of in a cul-de-sac there. So we were trying to split that V to try and get some traffic to come through here. And just today, the U.S. Department of Transportation has worked with the Indiana Department of Transportation, who has agreed to add Owensboro, Kentucky to the large markers on 64 West in a couple of months, and we really anticipate some more good news coming from that. So I think it's one of our citizens, Todd Inman, is actually Director of Operations at the Department of Transportation. He was very instrumental in making sure that we were where we needed to be, and it was a very productive meeting. We met with Senator McConnell. He was gracious enough to have us in his majority office, and we sat down at the table and got to talk with him for 30 minutes, and then we went to visit Senator Paul, and Congressman Guthrie was with us all the time, and we met with him in his office, and it was a very productive. Usually you go on these junkets, and sometimes it's a junket, but this one was worthwhile. There were some good things that happened, and as we move forward to try and increase our tax base so we can maybe roll back some other opportunity things that have happened, these are good. This is good news, and Indiana is moving forward. A gentleman named Hank Minke, OPS Brands, I believe it is. He's very instrumental in that part, and the southwestern and southeastern quadrant of Indiana is fixing to explode, which can only help us. So, and the other night, your mayor challenged Evansville's mayor to a game of smack it back at you, or smack it back, and your mayor won. So, we got 400. We got 400. That was for charity, and we got $400, and it's going to go to the southeastern Kentucky honor flight thing. So they're going to mail a check over. So, in all the disheartening news, there is some good news. We're working with some folks on the GE property. We're working with some folks on the hospital property. We're working with some folks to do some things at the airport. So not only have we been fighting this budget, we've also been as a group trying to create as much economic development and keep our face out in front. Joe Bowen and Matt Castlin and Suzanne Miles and Representative Gooch and Representative Mills are going to be fighting on behalf of tax reform for our group, and I've tasked Mr. Ray to put together the wish list for cities of our size to try and find different ways to generate revenue, and which is really the problem when you have to try and do some increases. We're so limited in what we can do versus smaller cities and cities that are unified government. So there's some good things coming down the road. Hang with us. Fuss when you need to, but I promise you, we're working hard at it. At this time, I'll recognize anybody from the public who'd like to speak. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Steve Moreland, like Moreland Park. And I live at 316 Diddley. I want to extend, first of all, a thank you for the no vote on the alcohol ordinance at one of the special meetings. We appreciate that. We were disheartened a little bit when we read the report of the paper a few days afterwards about the reasoning by that, but a no vote's a no vote. I want to say this also. There's a lot of no votes against Kroger and against a government, what you did to this city. And then another bit of business I want to take care of. I'm going to leave it at that right there with that point, but I want to make a point about, I read something about OMU going to match thousands of dollars of employees' contributions, and there was 2 board members on the OMU board voted to do something that just didn't make no sense, and it goes against everything that I think is right or wrong about government, but was wrong what that OMU board did. This government should step in. According to my numbers, it was tens of thousands of dollars going to be matched, and there's only the customers that OMU takes care of, as you know, have for years only stayed around 26 to 27,000 customers. You do your math, just the matching for this first year of goodwill to be matched by the OMU employees, even though it might be a good-hearted gesture, this is wrong for the ratepayers to pay 2, 3, or 2. Well, now my guesstimates, and I'm going by my memory of the numbers I saw, and somebody could correct me on it, but I'm letting you know the numbers are way out of line. That is mismanagement of OMU. You ought to step in and say, OMU, you're fleecing us. Every customer, $2 and $3, and then if it broke down to 55,000, it would be at least $2 a person, every child. This is outrageous. This is mismanagement. Your OMU, the OMU that y'all oversee or y'all are part of a government, you need to step in and say, this is enough. This little board needs to be shut down doing stuff like that.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Mullen.
you.
We recognize your disgust with our government. Anybody else? I forgot to mention that I got to welcome the Kentucky firefighters, local.
Kentucky Professional Firefighters.
Yeah, that's what it was. And they were at a meeting at our convention center, and they had a nice group together, and I enjoyed going over there, and they gave me this really nice coin where I gave it to one of my friends whose son's on the fire department. So, Chief Mitchell, you're recognized.
And that's what I was going to mention. They asked me to publicly thank the mayor, the commission, our firefighters, and especially our citizens for their hospitality this week. They really enjoyed being here, and they said they will definitely be back.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. More business before this committee. We'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned.